It's actually in the historical district here in Warsaw, and it's been in the best name since the day it was built up until early 90s, when it got to the point the lady that ended up inheriting it couldn't maintain the house. And back in the 60s, there was, I think, 3 apartments in this house. And the lady that owned it was actually right next door. A house of this age takes an awful lot of maintenance. It would be hard for her to have maintained it. So that's when she gave it to the church next door. The church next door couldn't decide whether to put a parking lot here or save it. A couple of ladies in town kind of boycotted one Sunday morning with a little bit of rain, and Raleigh got a hold of it. Preservation North Carolina stepped in and said, if you'll redo it, we will help you. We raised the money to do it, and we're still raising money to keep it. All the wood on these floors in this house were here when the house was built. You'll see some seams downstairs that may not match up. That's where they had to take parts up and replace another one. The room and library where we were in is the original floor. 2-inch piece was inserted in one spot on that. It's an asset here in this community because we're the only tourism spot as you enter Duplin County off of I-40. Well, I hope that as word gets out, we've been here for a while, but as the word gets out, I hope that people do come in and look and be inspired to pass on some of their family stuff along with us, even though we take only Duplin County veteran stuff. But sometimes there's another veteran in an adjoining county that will make also a story because they were probably in that county, and then all of a sudden they moved into Duplin County. And what requires you to get on the honor roll downstairs, live in Duplin County, go in from some other state, anywhere else around, and moved into Duplin County. You don't have to be born and raised in Duplin County, just actually have lived in it. One of our reporters here a few years back, I was telling him about it, he says, how do you get them other than that? And one of the ladies standing behind me says, he stands out on the road and snatches them in. My hope is that I can get into the school system and at least say, hey, this is part of your history. It's a bad part of history, but it's also, in a matter of speaking, it's good. We still have our freedom. But we have had some come in, got the ROTC come in. One school coming in brought in over 100 kids, and they bring them in every Veterans Day celebration we have now. They form up in the backyard. The ones that didn't get to come in last year would come in this year, but they'll come in here with and see not only a family member, they might see some kin people on the wall, or I know that family, I was raised in that family. You know, I dated that man on the wall. I've even heard that before. We have other plans other than what the ones we just did with the elevator and the painting of the outside and the inside. We still got a little bit to do on the inside, but those projects have been kind of long running and tedious to get when your funding is not where it needs to be, and because we accept donations, that's what we live off of. And I do encourage anybody that had a family member in the military services, come up here and look and see if their family is represented. If they're not, then we can rectify it. Although we're only open on Thursdays and Fridays from 1 to 4. If anybody has a group of people that want to come in, my number's on the bottom of the sign out in front of the building. They're welcome to call me. We will schedule on off hours. I've done that for many years. I was here for 6 or 7 years, and then I took a change and went with disaster relief as a missionary. And I've been back 2 years now. And I believe I'm getting too old to go out on the mission field now. But yeah, I think everybody that comes in here, whether they have a military person in their family or not, will understand what our veterans went through. It's not only ones that went to war, the ones that stayed home with the anticipation of what they may end up going out or what they may end up what was coming back in. They supported those troops while they were overseas with their supplies and everything. So to me, there's no difference in a man that went to war and the man that didn't. He was a part of the team.